Today we're with Katie. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. The floor is completely over to you. This is all about you. So please tell us about your story.
Thank you. My background came from swimming. So, from a little child, I've always done swimming. My parents got me into swimming just for safety reasons, and we found that I had a love for swimming. And they got me into swimming competitions. And there was a talent ID day where we went and did some testing, and I did a nationals at age 9, and that was at Sheffield. And I really enjoyed that. It was para nationals, it was in the summer, and I really did enjoy racing swimming. So I did competitions up until 2021 of swimming. And I really enjoyed that. And I managed to get onto the GB team in 2019. And for me, that was just a massive achievement. It was something I really enjoyed, but it was very hard. British swimming were very tough on their swimmers, and you had to really work hard to get where you wanted to go. Um, and so, because I've been doing it so many years, it was just something that I slowly was progressing in. I wasn't progressing as fast as I would have liked. And obviously, COVID came during 2020, and I was selected onto the Europeans team. And for me, I was really excited about that. That would be like my debut. It was like something really exciting. But then obviously, COVID came and it got cancelled or delayed, and then I wasn't on the team. And for me, that was just really hard because I had my GCSEs cancelled and then I didn't get on the team. And so I went from working with everything to nothing. And for me, I just really struggled with that during the lockdown because I didn't really have anything to work towards. Um, and because pools were closed, I couldn't do the swimming training that I really wanted to do. So I had to replace it with like running and cycling. And I really did start to enjoy those two different sports. And so once the lockdowns had finished, we investigated triathlon. And that for me was something that I was really excited about. It was a new burst of excitement and something I really look forward to doing. And so at 2021, we looked into British Triathlon, and we spoke to a few of the coaches there, and they were all really supportive and really helpful in helping me to find different things to do. And I did my first competition at British Champs in July, and I really enjoyed that. And it was very different to swimming because in swimming you just go up and down a lane, and racing you're on your own. But for triathlon, because I'm visually impaired, they require someone to guide you. So you have your own individual person with you the whole entire race. So you have them tethered to you on the swim, you go on a tandem with them for the bike, and then you're tethered again on the run. And that was really different to swimming, but I really did enjoy that because it felt like a team effort and something that was really just fun to do when you were competing. And so I kept doing triathlons in 2021, and British Triathlon gave me many opportunities, and I went abroad and competed internationally for Great Britain near the end of 2021 in October and November at Alhambra and Abu Dhabi. And for me, that was a new experience, but something I did really enjoy. And so I had to make the decision of switching from swimming to triathlon or keeping swimming. And I decided that I'd kind of gone as far as I could for the swimming, and I'd done what I could, and I've competed internationally in the swimming, and triathlon was this new thing that was up and coming. And I felt that it really did suit my training style and something that I could really progress in. And so I made the decision in December and January to switch into the triathlon. And that was a really hard decision for me because I've been doing swimming my whole life. It was something that I really focused on the entire time. It was something that my end goal was to get to the Paralympics in swimming, and it's something I always wanted to do. And then suddenly I was just like, no, it's not going to get there. I'm going to do this instead. And it was sad, but also really exciting because I was really excited for triathlon. So I did more competitions for British Triathlon. I did nationals again this year, and I've done other international competitions. And I've had a mix of guides because I haven't had my own specific guide. So I've had different people like Grace France. I've had Brooke guide me. I've had loads of different people guide me, and it's been really interesting to see different guides and how they work with you. And I found that really fun because it's a team effort. It's really nice to work with different people, and they're all great. It's just amazing to do a competition with another person. And so that just felt like it was for me. And so I continued doing that. And in around April 2022, Team England selected me publicly for the Commonwealth Games. And for me, I hadn't even been in triathlon a year. So it was just amazing to be selected. And I was so happy. And I was just happy with the opportunity to go to the Commonwealth Games. I wasn't expecting anything out of it. I was just happy to be there. And so I did my training. They selected my guide, Jess, and it was really exciting. We had loads of media, we had loads of photos. That was just, for me, it was something I hadn't had before, and it was just a really great experience. And then it came to race day. We'd done some practice together. We'd been on immersion camp at Loughborough, and that was really amazing. And they came to race day, and the main competition was Alison from Scotland and the Canadian. And they're both really amazing athletes. They're up there in the world. And I was really nervous at the beginning of the race because I hadn't really done a big event like this before, whereas everyone else in the triathlon area had been doing competitions like that, and they were used to it. Like Alison went to Tokyo, and she's a really amazing athlete. So for me, it was just in their shadow for now, taking the opportunity and doing what I could. And on race day, unfortunately, Alison crashed on the bike, and I managed to overtake the Canadian on the bike. So it meant that I was at the front, and for me, I wasn't expecting to be in first position. So I was just expecting all my competition to come zooming past me, either on the end of the bike or on the run. So I was just sat there I'll enjoy this moment, it's fine. Yeah. So I was enjoying it. Jess was a great guide. And once we got onto the run, I just said to her, just tell me I have enough energy to get through this run, because it was really hilly. Yeah. So I did really enjoy that. But then on the second lap of the run, I did get a stitch. And so I just had to push through. But by the end of the second lap, it was clear that I was going to win. And it was just amazing. One of the coaches shouted over the barrier, just enjoy the moment. But because I wasn't expecting to do as well as I did, I was just fully expecting someone to come past me. I couldn't enjoy it until I was right at the end. And when I did cross the finish line, it was just an amazing moment, something I wouldn't have thought I'd had. And it's something I'll remember forever because it was just amazing. Yes. So yeah, the Commonwealth Games was just the experience, the thing that I'd been wanting in my career, the thing that I've been working towards. It was that experience I've been wanting and something that I achieved, and it was amazing, really. So yeah, that was in the summer, and I've still been competing, and I've got races at the end of this season. I've just come back from heat prep in the heat chambers in Loughborough, because we have Alanya in Turkey literally next week, and Abu Dhabi, the World Championships, in November. So we did heat prep for that, and I'm really excited because I went to Abu Dhabi last year, so it'll be great to go again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what the future holds with triathlon.
Absolutely. And I can see when you're talking, I can see the smile, I can see the way you're expressing yourself. You are extremely happy and excited. And that's amazing that you won. And I think that's the thing, is a lot of the times in life is when you least expect something to happen, especially something like that. It's sometimes when it happens. So you should be incredibly proud of yourself. And also how it's the phrase, one door closes, another one opens. Unfortunately, you did stop swimming, but then you've kind of opened a door to something that, a few years ago you never thought you were going to do. And now, look at you.
It's not something I wouldn't have expected. If you told me 2 years ago I wouldn't be doing swimming anymore and I'd be somewhere else, I'd be like, no, I'm working on swimming. This is where I want to be.
It's kind of that, it kind of just, explains the phrase when people, you have a plan about something, and sometimes the plan doesn't always go how you want it to, but that's not so much a bad thing, because sometimes you end up in an even more amazing situation than you were before. So
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, of course. So obviously when you had to decide between swimming, and being a triathlete, and you said it was difficult, kind of how did you, what was the process of that, and how did you kind of find things?
It was very long. I spoke to my personal coach at my swimming club, and I spoke to like the GB coaches on the British swimming team. And it was a very long process. I was speaking to my parents because it was very hard, like my whole family and me. It wasn't just me. We were all working towards that one goal. Like it wasn't just me waking up on the early mornings for swimming. It was my dad taking me and my mum making my pack lunch for school to go on. Like it was the whole family working towards it. So it was something that had to be discussed and a long process. So I kept making like loads of long sheets of pros and cons to staying and swimming and pros and cons to leaving. And so it was a very long process, and it was very hard because at the same time I wanted to go into triathlon and I wanted this new experience, but I didn't want to stop swimming because it was something I've been working towards and something I didn't want to just go bye. So, yeah, it was very long and very hard, and I'd had many meetings with my swimming coach, but he was very supportive of me. So it was a very long process.
No, of course. And I can imagine it was probably quite difficult to kind of let swimming go.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And how do you find that, did it affect you, with regards to your mental health and things like that?
I think it did, yeah, because obviously I was really disappointed. I was working towards swimming and then I had nothing,
Yeah.
and I had my GCSEs and then I had nothing, and I had nothing to work towards.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And it's just definitely, when, like you were saying, when you have a plan and you have something that you're doing, and it doesn't happen and it doesn't go, yes, something better can come from it. But there is that phase where, well, what do you do? And like you said, you were working, had nothing to work towards, in the middle of your GCSEs as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting in that kind of sense. And with regards to your visual impairment, how do you find the sport in particular, or just, in everyday life, how things can help?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's
Um,
fine.
yeah, I'm with my vision impairment, obviously there's different categories in sports. So you're not just competing against people who don't have a vision impairment. And so you do need the support along the way. You do have the coaches who support you, and there will be people who don't understand, and it can be very hard because some people just don't get it and they try to understand, but it's very hard, and you repeat what you need and what you need help with, and some people don't get it, but then other people are really supportive and really helpful and help give you what you need. And with the sport, there's a lot that needs to be changed around to help you, and especially with the change to triathlon, you need a guide, which is another thing that's quite big, because obviously if you're training, it's very different. Some of my guides that I've raced with, they live like Loughborough way, and I'm in Berkshire Maidenhead, which is like a 2.5 hour drive away. So it's very hard to do these things. Like you can't always train with a guide, so you're just competing, and it's very different.
Yeah, no, I can obviously 100%, agree and understand things like that. And I guess that's the thing, is it's like you said, swimming was very much a sport for yourself, and you were not alone, but you kind of did it, on your own, if that makes sense. And with regards to triathlon, there is somebody else, and I guess it's nice for you to have somebody. And I guess, you said you had to figure out finding the right, guide and the right person to pair up with, and that must have also been quite a, because you want to make sure you have the right person, so that could have been a challenge in itself.
Yeah, with triathlon, it is, you need a guide, but you look at the guide's experience, but you also need to look at the relationship with the guide, because if you don't have a good relationship, then it's not going to work. So you do need to look into both things.
Yeah, I think that's like with pretty much with a lot of things in everyday life. It's the relationships with people. Obviously, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about general relationships with anyone you work with, your friends, anyone. It's definitely finding, yes, there's, the structure behind certain things, but it's how you connect with somebody and how the relationship works. And I think relationships can play a huge part in the success or the, you know, the good momentum of how something can play out afterwards.
Yeah, because it's not just you, they're a whole nother person, and you need that bond between the two of you, because you're on a tandem together. You need to like communicate. If you're not going to communicate, then it's not going to work. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you've just had a fight with them before because, you know, and then it's suddenly the race.
Yeah, we're turning left. I thought that was a right turn. You're turning the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely, yeah, relationships are definitely important. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you, you know, do you have any advice for, you know, anybody that, you know, not necessarily, you know, your age, because obviously, you know, you're young, you've just kind of gone through exams and things like that, but of any age, somebody that wants to try something for the first time, or even if it's not for the first time, like if their path was going one way, for instance, yours was going with swimming, and then for whatever reason it changes kind of, and there's obviously, it's a scary thing to try something new and to maybe let go of something you were used to. What kind of advice would you give somebody?
I think speak to the people around you, because you do have a support network around you, and there are people who are willing to listen and help support you. And if there is a new route you want to go down, there are people you can speak to. Like I was doing swimming, and then I spoke to the staff at British Triathlon. They were really helpful and really supportive in helping me make my decisions. So there are people out there helping you and wanting to help. So it's just finding the right people and communicating what you want to do.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to, they don't want to speak out, or people don't want to ask for help, or, but you're right. There's a community of people that want to help people. So absolutely. And is there anything else that you want to talk about, you know, share with us today?
I'm not sure there's anything else I can think of.
No, it's absolutely fine. So you're looking forward to your next competitions?
Yeah, I've got Alanya in a week. I'm flying out on Wednesday next week, and I'll be racing on the weekend on Saturday. So I'm really excited about that, because I'm trying a new partnership with a girl called Ella, and she's the same age as me. So that'll be something really nice to try. So I'm really excited about that.
Amazing. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Is there anywhere that I can watch this or see it, or?
It might be on Triathlon Live. I'm not sure if they're going to publicize it, only because it's the World Cup. But if it is publicized, it'll be on Triathlon Live.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely have a look, because I'll be cheering you on from London. Perfect. So it's been a really, really absolute pleasure to talk to you today. And I hope to meet you in person someday. This is the thing, everything's perfect on Zoom, but you, again, like with relationships, it's nice to meet people and be with them in person. So